Sound is good? طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Tonight's lesson is from Marjan فيما اتفق عليه شيخان, chapter number 27. باب من جمع الصدقة وأعمال البر. حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم قال: من أنفق زوجين في سبيل الله نودي من أبواب الجنة يا عبد الله هذا خير. فمن كان من أهل الصلاة دعي من باب الصلاة، ومن كان من أهل الجهاد دعي من باب الجهاد، ومن كان من أهل الصيام دعي من باب الريان، ومن كان من أهل الصدقة دعي من باب الصدقة. فقال أبو بكر رضي الله عنه: بأبي أنت وأمي يا رسول الله، ما علي من دعي من دعي من تلك الأبواب من ضرورة، فهل يدعى أحد من تلك الأبواب كلها؟ قال: نعم، وأرجو أن تكون منهم. خير إن شاء الله. It says here, هكذا كما قلنا هل على ليس هل علي. Chapter 27 says, one who collects charity and also collect other righteous deeds. باب من جمع الصدقة وأعمال البر is he who performs, carries out, if you want to say collects, between this and that. He does sadaqah with his actual physical money and other righteous deeds, i.e. this servant doesn't just stick and depend on sadaqah, which is so virtuous, as we have taken in the previous chapters. That's enough for going to Jannah, protecting you from the hellfire, as the hadith in which we read, ittaqun nara walau bishiqqi tamra. Screen yourself, shield yourself, veil yourself from hell, even if it's half of a date. So what do you think about a person who gives the money, gives the sadaqah, and also does prayer, jihad, fasting, enjoining the good, forbidding the evil, talab al-ilm, etc. That's what this chapter is about. And this chapter is a further continuation of the discussion of fada'ilul infaqi fi sabilillah, the excellent merits, the superior virtues of spending in Allah's cause. It's nothing more than another diversification, as we explained, the proper way. Khairan inshallah. So it's hadith number 606. Alhamdulillah, we've cracked the 600 hadith mark. Walillahil hamd. Going to 700 bi'idhnillah. Is narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever gives two kinds in charity for Allah's cause will be called from the gates of paradise and will be addressed, O slave of Allah, here is prosperity. So whoever was amongst the people who used to offer their prayer will be called from the gate of salah. And whoever was amongst the people who used to participate in jihad will be called from the gate of jihad. And whoever was amongst those who used to observe Sawm, they will be called from the gate of Ar-Rayyan. Whoever was amongst those who used to give in sadaqah will be called from the gate of sadaqah. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, let my parents be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Messenger. No distress or need will befall him who will be called from these gates. Will there be anyone who will be called from all these gates? The Prophet ﷺ replied, yes, and I hope you will be one of them. And I hope you will be one of them. Khairan inshallah. Next hadith of the chapter, hadith 607. Hadith Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu. عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال: من أنفق زوجين في سبيل الله دعاه خزنة الجنة كل خزنة باب أي فلهما هكذا. قال أبو بكر: يا رسول الله ذاك الذي لا تون عليه. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إني لأرجو أن تكون منهم. The next narration is also reported by Hurairah radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever spends two things in Allah's cause, will be called by all the gatekeepers of paradise, who will be saying, "Oh, so and so, come here." Abu Bakr said, "O Allah's Messenger, such persons will never be destroyed." The Prophet ﷺ said, "I hope you will be one of them." Khair, inshallah. Let's go fix our script, our version of the book. Bidnillahi ta'ala. طيب. طيب ماشي. Leave it for now. لا بأس. المهم. The next narration is previous to the first narration. And that is showing the excellence and the superiority of spending in Allah's cause, and how sadaqah is a means behind going to paradise. And sadaqah is a means behind elevation in Jannah and having a specific spot, place, and location in paradise. The sadaqah sababun min asbab dukhul al-Jannah. And it's the sababul rif'ah, of being elevated. And it's also a level of a special place, a means of a special level in paradise. You'll be called out, so on and so forth. Tayyib. This hadith, Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he says regarding the first narration, hadith 606. He says rahimahullah ta'ala, inshallah Sahih Muslim. He says, قِيلَ مَعْنَاهُ لَكَ هُنَا خَيْرٌ وَثَوَابٌ وَغِبْتَةٌ وقيل معناه هذا الباب فيما نعتقده خير لك من غيره من الأبواب لكثرة ثوابه ونعيمه فتعال فادخل منه ولا بد من تقدير ما ذكرناه أن كل مناد يعتقد ذلك الباب أفضل من غيره. The part of the hadith that says that it will be called out to him, it will be said to him, هذا خير. It says, نودي من أبواب الجنة يا عبد الله هذا خير. O servant of Allah, هذا خير. Now, we have to give a little bit of background for those who don't know, or those who know, but to make it clearer with regards to this word, khair. Sometimes the word khair can just be a general, normal ism, good, prosperity. And sometimes khair is used as ism tafdeel. Ism tafdeel. So if I said to you, هذا أكبر من هذا, versus هذا خير من هذا, يعني هذا أخير من هذا. اسم تفضيل. أكبر، أطول، أعلم، ألذ، أمر، أشد, etc. Better. Called اسم تفضيل. Okay? So the word khair, if I say هذا خير, it means this is good. This is good. This is prosperity. This is reward. Or I can say هذا خير, meaning this is what? The best or better. Better or the best. Better or the best. Everyone understand this? So the hadith says, Nudiya, he will be called out, meaning the angels will call out to him, Ya Abdullah, O servant of Allah, هذا خير. One or two meanings. This is good for you right here. Come here. Reside here. Or this is the best gate of paradise. This is the what? The best, the highest, the best, the finest gate of Jannah. Everyone understand this? This is what Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala says. And he says here, and it's a must to give this interpretation to show that these angels, this munadi, this one who's calling out, he believes that this is the best gate. Every gatekeeper believes his gate is what? The best. Everyone understand this? And obviously that's going to have an effect upon the one entering that gate. There's no doubt about that. You're being welcomed and told and informed, هذا خير, this is the best. Imagine that feeling, how elated you would be, from your good deeds. خير inshallah. Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala then says, وذكر مثله في الصدقة والجهاد والصيام. قال العلماء معناه من كان الغالب عليه في عمله وطاعته ذلك. With regards to prayer, fasting, salah, jihad, the scholars, they say, Nawawi, he says, those who are inclined towards an act of ibadah. And that's what they focus on. That's what they're good at. That which they specialize in. You're very good at sadaqah, but you also pray. You also fast. This person always fasts, meaning that's his feature. his featured mark, his distinguishing trait is siyam. His distinguishing trait is knowledge, but he does other things too. His distinguishing trait is hajj, but he does what? Other acts as well. But that's the thing, his what? His takhassus, what he specializes in. So that's what's meant by this hadith, is that these people, وَمَنْ كَانَ, those who are from, those who are amongst, those who are, meaning, in most cases. Right, moving forward. Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he then says, قال العلماء سمي باب الريان تنبيها على أن العطشان بالصوم في الهواجر سيروى وعاقبته إليه وهو مشتق من الري. As far as the gate of paradise, which is called Ar-Rayyan, then this goes to show that those who are thirsty and hungry, those who are parched, their thirst will be quenched in Jannah. And that the reward of starvation, hunger, thirst, whatever, is going to be what? The opposite. Not necessarily starvation, but you starve yourself. You don't eat, you don't drink. Okay? During different times of the day, which is hot, it's a long day. You understand? This is very difficult. And that you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You become thirsty in this life for the sake of Allah, you're going to get that in the hereafter. You quench yourself for your lusts and pleasures in this life and hereafter, you're not going to get that. You reap what you sow. May Allah help us all. Tayyib. He says, and that this will be the aqibah. This is the final destination of thirst, is what? Quenching. Hunger is fullness. Poverty is richness and wealth, luxury. And that's the whole concept of sacrificing things for this, from this worldly life. Nawawi then says, وَهُوَ مُشْتَقٌ مِنَ الرَّيْ. Tayyib. Moving forward. He then says, فيه منقبة لأبي بكر رضي الله عنه وفيه جواز الثناء على الإنسان في وجهه إذا لم يخف عليه فتنة بإعجاب وغيره والله أعلم. He says this hadith also proves the superiority of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Manqaba is a virtue. It's from his fada'il. What made Abu Bakr so special? He was this, he was this, he was this, he was this, and this. So in Sahih Bukhari, this hadith could also be collected where? And what book? Fada'il al-Sahaba. Fada'il al-Sahaba, Babu Abu Bakr. You understand? And this hadith would also be collected in Sahih Bukhari where? Istinbat, extraction, how to deduce. Where else would this be in Sahih Bukhari? هذا خير, Abdullah. هذا خير. Where else would it be? Kitab al-Siyam. Of course. Kitab al-Siyam, Babu Fadl Siyam al-Tatawwa. The voluntary fast, right? Where else would it be collected? Or could it be, where else could it be? Kitab al-Jihad. Kitab al-Salah. It could be in the chapter of the angels, the Malaika. From the Aqeedah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah is that they what? Angels speak, they talk. Everyone understand this? وَهَكَذَا. One hadith, use it what? 10 times. You understand this? Al-Istinbat. Moving forward. He says, another faida from this hadith is the permissibility to praise someone to their face. To say good words about a person to the person's face. As long as there is no fear of the person floating away with a hot air balloon. Person's head puffing up, becoming too high, and they just become full of themselves. Nah? And if that's not the case, then it's permissible. I.e., if you have a feeling, let alone if you know the person. That was a very good class that you did. Jazakallahu khairan. You know that the person is not that type of person, in which they're not going to just pass out, by hearing a compliment. They're a balanced person. They're a moderate person. Everyone understand this? And they're not just used to just giving terrible classes in which, that was a good one, Khalid. You see what I'm saying to you? Everybody understand this? Same applies to clothes and anything else. That's nice, man. MashaAllah. That's official. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. You make your friend feel good. It's not like, it's the only nice thing that I ever had all these years. So you have to know the person. So this goes to show us, once more, that the fiqh of al-Islam and the rulings of Islam, many a times, they're formless. And it's not just a one-way street. Sometimes, because you're not supposed to praise someone. you're supposed to be moderate. Everyone understand this? The hadith about throwing the gravel in the face of those who praise. But that does not mean that you can't do it, as it clearly states here. Abu Bakr asked, and he says, I hope that you'll be from among them. Meaning, inshallah, that's you. That's what you do. So the Prophet, he praised Abu Bakr to Abu Bakr's face because he knew that Abu Bakr would not be what? Affected by it. Everyone understand this? As far as the opposite, then it goes back to the asl, that it shouldn't be done. And which a person just going to take it and just what? Soar to the sky. Oftentimes, and this obviously depends on your relationship with the person, you may do the opposite. Someone says, oh, how did I do? Or you say, you need to do better. Or someone comes to you and points out some things that you left out. Alhamdulillah, I have brothers like this. He said, Mufti, you left this out. You forgot this. You could have mentioned this. This was right in front of you. You didn't have to go there. It's not in a bad or disrespectful way. But they're trying to make you what? Better. Everyone understand this? Because oftentimes you may hear the good stuff and you may need to hear what? Other than that. He said, he knocked out the guy in what? 30 seconds. He said, I'll give him a C. You know? C. We have some more work to do in the gym. And he what? The guy's still laying on the canvas. And the trainer says what? You know? Right? How many Super Bowls he won? And his first thing he does, thanks to fans, thanks to players, we tried. He never gloats in his glory. He's back to the what? To the X's and the O's. Everyone understand this? All right? So oftentimes when you praise someone, or if you give someone constructive criticism, or just advice or pointers, it's good as well. What's important is it's not haram, what? To say something praiseworthy to someone's face. And many people, they only apply this when it's for their enemies or their opponents, right? We have a dawah organization, and this brother, he has followers. The first thing that they'll say is what? Oh, look how many followers he has. Shuhra. Fulan from the Salaf, he says, Man ahabba shuhra famattaqallah. He who loves fame hasn't feared Allah. Right? Or everyone understand this? Or they'll say what? They'll say, our brother Fulan is so knowledgeable. MashaAllah, look at him, listen to him, look at what he got. Oh, akhi, la. Yeah, you're breaking his back. Akhi, you can't praise the brother to his face. Right? And they'll quote this and they'll quote that. But when it comes to someone in their group, or their gang, or their clique, exactly. They'll call him Sheikh. But I thought no students of knowledge in the West could be called Sheikh. Oh, I get it. You make up the rules as you go along. Everyone understand this? The brother who studied for 20 years is not a Sheikh. But a brother who studied for 2 years is what? MashaAllah. I see how it goes now. You just do whatever you want to do. And then call it the way of the Salaf. Everyone understand this? So many people, they have one-sided fiqh only when it suits them. Everyone understand this? Only when it what? When it suits them. But when it doesn't suit them, then they'll go to, oh, you can't do this, you can't praise, you can't say it to the brother's face. Oh, you shouldn't have said it to the brother's face. So we have to be careful of being hypocrites when it comes to the ahkam, the rulings. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Moving forward, he says, قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم من باب كذا ومن باب كذا فذكر باب الصلاة والصدقة والصيام والجهاد قال القاضي وقد جاء ذكر بقية أبواب الجنة الثمانية في حديث آخر في باب التوبة وباب الكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس وباب الراضين فهذه 7 أبواب جاءت في الأحاديث وجاء في حديث 70,000 الذين يدخلون الجنة بغير حساب أنهم يدخلون من الباب الأيمن فلعله الباب الثامن. خير inshallah, let's move forward to the next chapter. Chapter number 28. Says باب الحث على الإنفاق وكراهة الإحصاء. حديث أسماء رضي الله عنها أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أنفقي ولا تحسي فيحسي الله عليك ولا توعي فيوعي الله عليك. طيب. Before we move on to the next chapter, an explanation of the part of the hadith that says man anfaqa zawjaini, who gives zawjain, 2 spouses, 2 pair, or a pair, two pieces. What's meant by zawjain, right? He says here قال القاضي قال الهروي في تفسير هذا الحديث قيل وما زوجان فرسان أو عبدان أو بعيران. وقال ابن عرفة كل شيء قرن بصاحبه فهو زوج. يقال زوجت بين الإبل إذا قرنت بعيرا ببعير. وقيل درهم ودينار أو درهم وثوب. قال والزوج يقع على الاثنين ويقع على الواحد. وقيل إنما يقع على الواحد إذا كان معه آخر، ويقع الزوج أيضا على الصنف. وفسر بقوله تعالى وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثة. وقيل يحتمل أن يكون هذا الحديث في جميع أعمال البر من صلاتين أو صيام يومين، والمطلوب تشفيع صدقة بأخرى، والتنبيه على فضل الصدقة والنفقة في الطاعة والاستكثار منها. As far as what's meant by shojane, then the Nawawi says that Al-Qadhi says that Al-Harawi says, i.e. here we see the pedigree, the lineage of knowledge. One scholar quotes from another, who quotes from another. The line, the lineage, the isnad. And then there's no harm and there's no problem if a student of knowledge or scholar goes to the original source of Qadi Iyad's kalam. Cuts out Nawawi, he cuts out Nawawi, goes to Qadi. Or if he went to the kalam of who? Al-Harawi. And you can't say, oh, well, who are you to quote Qadi Al-Harawi? You have to read it in what? Sahih Muslim. As some brothers, they think this. You can't read from Fath al-Bari, but you have to read from Sheikh Fulan's sharh of the chapter. Sheikh Fulan's whole entire explanation is based off of what? Fath al-Bari. I've studied overseas, I've been trained, I've been evaluated in the original book. Why do I have to go back to Sheikh Uthaymeen's sharh of the chapter when I can do what? Make a simplified summary of Fath al-Bari for my people in their language, instead of reading every single word for word from a modern day scholar. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? It doesn't mean it's disrespect. It doesn't, la yalzam, it's no disrespect. Nor are you claiming or saying that you're more knowledgeable than a current day scholar or a living scholar. La yalzam. But you want to do what? You want to be thorough. You want to go back to the source where he's what? What's the problem? You understand this? So Noah is quoting from someone who is what? Quoting from someone. Tayyib? So he says that Al-Harawi says, with regards to the tafsir of this hadith, and this is also one of the sciences of ilm al-hadith, is tafsir of the hadith and the tafsir of the gharib, the word of the vocabulary, the lugha of the hadith, right? It's one of the sub-branches of the field of ilm al-hadith, al-mustalah. Tayyib, he says here, some say that it could be anything, 2 horses, 2 camels, whatever it may be, 2 servants. Ibn Arafah says anything which is put with another is called zoj. He says a zoj could be 1 camel with another, a dirham and a dinar and a thob, a pair. Everyone understand this? A package, they say a bundle, right? You give 2, right? This is what? Zojane. This is 1 and 1. Or a piece of corn and wakada. Everyone understand this? He says, or it could be 2 or it could be 1. All right? He says here, a sinf, category, zoj. As Allah says, وَكُنْتُمْ أَزْوَاجًا ثَلَاثًا. And you will be 3 zojes on that day. Who are those? Allah mentions what? Muqarrabun, Ashab al-Yameen, and what? A'udhu Billah. He said, I don't say Ashab al-Shimal. A'udhu Billah, the people of the left. May Allah protect us from that. Tayyib. He says here that another interpretation is any type of double ibadah. Double ibadah. So the first interpretation is 2 of 1. 2 camels, 2 slaves, 2 swords, whatever it is for the cause of Allah. Right? And the second one is what? A mixture. The first one, is the mixture. The 2. And the second one is what? Double. Everyone understand the difference of ibadah and not actual sadaqah that's being spent. Such as fasting 2 days. Giving 1 sadaqah with what? Another sadaqah. وهكذا. Everyone understand this? 2 hajjs, double umrahs, whatever the case may be. Naam? Tayyib. He says, etc. Tayyib. So that's the interpretation of that. Next chapter is exhortation to spending in good deeds and dislikedness of calculating. The excellence of spending and the dislikedness of calculating, meaning penny pinching. counting and figuring out how much I'm going to give. Let me set this aside. Oh. In other words, the hand of the believer for sadaqah in the cause of Allah is supposed to be just like that. No restrictions. You understand? It's not counting. Tayyib. Another ruling of zakah, and that is the recommendation to be generous in Allah's cause, and is disliked to count. This is very applicable to many things on a daily basis. Husband and wife, you penny pinch and you count every single dime with your wife, and it doesn't mean that you can't budget. It doesn't mean that you don't look after your means and have a close watch on your train of supplies. That's a basic principle, of the art. Doesn't mean that. But in which you just count every single thing, you look at every single thing, you're just what? Oh. And then you don't have to be. If you're budgeting like that, different story. But you have a lot of money, mashallah. Allah has blessed you with so much. And you penny pinch with your wife. Or your wife with the husband. With regards to something that you do for your husband. It doesn't have to be money. Oh, I don't feel like doing this, or I'm tired, or so can you do it, or I'm not your servant. Counting and enumerating, calculating everything that you do, or your children, right? Or the masjid, or your student, or your teacher. It's applicable all around the board, Not to calculate, and obviously when you calculate, what does it mean? What does it prove? What does it show about your mindset? And worst of all, calculating with a guest. Many brothers, they do this, unfortunately. A guest, right? They'll take you somewhere and says, well, how much is that? Or, Sheikh, I'm gonna wait in the car, you can go in the store. It's happened before. No question. One brother, he said, I fed you guys what? It's not the word that he used, but I'm giving you the PG version. He said, I fed you guys what? Yesterday. And this was in Ramadan. The holy month, as they say, right? Ash-Shahrul Kareem. This was the what? This was in Ramadan. We were guests in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to say the location, who the brother out of him. He said, didn't I feed you guys last night? Just imagine, this is a knowledgeable person. He says, didn't I feed you last night? That's all you can say is Allah is perfect. Everyone understand this? Or other people, they're not that extreme and they're not that, but you can feel it. When it's what? The pockets is burning. You can feel it. And that's fine if you don't have a lot of money, because generosity doesn't mean you have to have a lot of money. You can have your guests have simple, basic things. But you can't take your guest here or put on a front in a show. Like you, what? A stack and a hole in Big Willie. You know, Sahib al-Maqam, the generous, al-Sakhi, yani. You can't front like that and then be like, oh, hold on, Sheikh, well, give me a second, let me make a phone call. Or you send Brother Fulan and he brings back the receipts. He's taking the receipts, something is wrong now. Everyone understand this? And it's going to be offensive to your what? To the guests. If all you have is dates and water, alhamdulillah, you give that to your guests. Bismillah, it's nothing special. Tafaddal, I'm eating it with you. My daughter comes from behind a curtain in my house, she's eating dates and water too. That's all we have. You don't have lamb chops, no problem. But you can't put on that front or start it, and then next thing you know what? You start tuhsi, you start calculating. You understand this? You have to be mindful of this. Being generous to your guests, let alone if you have wealth. And if the wealth is not hurting you, it's not bothering you, be generous. Allah Azza wa Jalla will give it back to you. Allah will put barakah in it. This is an admonition and an exhortation for what? All of us. All of us. I'm not excluded from this. Each and every one of us. May Allah increase us in generosity. Ameen. So, Hadith 608 is narrated by Asma radiyallahu anha. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, give in charity and do not withhold your wealth by counting and hoarding it, being afraid that wealth may be exhausted, lest Allah Ta'ala should withhold His blessings from you, and do not withhold your money, lest Allah should withhold it from you. Crystal clear. You reap what you sow. You give, Allah will give you. You calculate, you penny pinch, you worry about it too much, you may not get that blessing from Allah, the Mighty and the Most High. Khairan, inshallah. We'll stop here tonight. Allah, the Most High, surely knows best. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.